Right? All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. Today is May 22nd at 10 a.m. This is your regular edition of Lavaca County Commissioners Court, and we will start with the confirmation of roll call. Precinct 1?
Here.
Precinct 2?
Here.
Precinct 3?
Present.
Precinct 4?
Present.
Let it be known the judge is here, so all 5 of us are here. With that, we will start with our invocation. So please stand. Our most Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We pray for our nation, Lord, as they're making decisions in Washington that we can't control. Lord, we ask that you be with all our legislatures, whether it's Washington, Austin. Be with us today in this courtroom here in Lavaca County as we make decisions for the county as well. And we just pray that we make the right decisions for all of Lavaca County today. And we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
And our pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. All right. Do we have any announcements before we get into our action item agenda? Anything? Going once, going twice. All right. Then we will start with action item number 1, service awards for the year 2021 and 2022. Have a motion to move into these awards.
So moved.
So moved. Motion by precinct 2.
Second.
Second by precinct 1 to move into our service awards for the year 2021 and 2022. So we will start that right now. And I'm going to go to the podium. This is going to be a lot easier. And we're going to call you in groups of, in your 5, 10, 15-year groups by name. But then after each group, we'll take a picture with each group. Okay. Can you hear me okay? All right, starting with our 5-year awards. This is out of the Sheriff's Office. If Sheriff, you want to come forward as well. And I think those of you have your list here, so you can give out your award as we call them out. 5 years serving Lavaca County, Brad Thompson. Is Brad here? Come on down, Brad. Thank you for your 5 years of service.
Thank you, sir.
Phyllis Bush. Thank you, Ms. Bush. We have Melvin Smollett from Precinct 1.
County Road 14.
County Road 14 today. I think Precinct 1 has got their hands full today. They're putting in a culvert precinct on County Road 15, but Melvin Smollett's not here today. Linnell Phillip out of County Clerk's Office. Barbara, if you want to hand her plaque. Thank you, Linnell. Congratulations. Thank you for serving. All right, and this concludes our 5-year service. So we'll get a picture with a 5-year group. There you go. All right, thank you very much for 5 years of service. All right, next we have our 10 years of service. Out of the Sheriff's Department, we have George Sierra. Mr. George? And by the looks of your uniform, you're a jailer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we don't get to see that often, which is a good thing for most of us. All right, Catherine Maccabee, out of the Sheriff's Office. Did I pronounce that right? Good. Thank you.
Huh? And also a jailer, that's correct. We have Matthew Keller from the Sheriff's Office. Matthew, thank you. Next, out of the Treasurer's Office, we have Marie Tabola. And again, this is 10 years of service. Thank you, Marie. From the Tax Assessor Collector's Office, we have Melissa Holub. Thank you, Melissa. Next, from Precinct 2, we have Daryl Fishbeck. Good to see you again, Daryl. Thank you for 10 years of service. And we have Edward Pruska. I'll give that one up. Thank you for your 10 long years of service. You got it. You want to go in the back row too? Want me in there? All right, 10 years of service, thanks, y'all. Commissioner Puska said time goes by when you're having fun. Unless it's raining on your roads. All right, 15 years of service. Noe Miranda, out of the Sheriff's Office. Noe here? There he is. Good. Thank you, Noe. Jimmy Hyman. Who's out patrolling today? That's down. Yeah, if you've been here a year or less, you're on duty today. Jimmy, thank you for your years of service. 15.
I didn't know if Jimmy's in here, then the roads you get before.
That's it. All right, out of the County Attorney's Office, we have Miss Sandra Holter, 15 years of service. Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure if he's here, but Mr. Timothy Wagner is our chief of our EMS department. Dr. Wagner, he's not here today. We'll let you pick up his award anyway. Sure. You can hand deliver to him, I'm sure. From the EMS department, Sean Hayek. 15 years, Mr. Hayek. It's a long time, sir.
He ages well, doesn't
He ages well. He only looks 15. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Don Miller. How do I? Muller. Don Muller. 15 years, Don. Thank you very much for your service. 33. You came back twice. 33 years total. Okay, but 15 years current. Precinct 4, we have Sandy Derringer.
He's out on the road.
Out on the roads. That's what we expect. Okay. Precinct 3, Billy Petru. Billy here? There he is. Thank you, Mr. Petru, for your 15 years. Appreciate it. Huh? Special Precinct 3 Award. This is what he does best. I told you I saw a picture out. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, sir. Thank you, Mr. Petru. All right, another 15 years, Jeff Stefik, and they're out there at the 15 project. Jeffrey's been with us for 15 years in Precinct 1. Becky Yannock. I'll give that one out. And this one has a way to go to get to 42 years, but we have Ms. Barbara Stefik, 15 years. All right, this is all our 15-year people. Thank you very much. 15 years of service. All right, we're not done yet. Not done yet. Now we're moving to our 20 years. Out of the district clerk's office, we have Miss Denise Bunock. Where's Miss Denise? And we also have, out of the county clerk's office, we have Miss Tina Stefik. Miss Tina Stefik, 20 years.
Good morning. Good morning.
Look forward to the next 20? Yes? She said yes. She committed to 20 years right there, she said. All right, we already agreed.
I went there Friday night for a while. I never made it out of the fire station. Well, that's just did a forward and ran over the stick. You know how that goes.
Thank you very much. All right, moving along, 25 years of service in Lavaca County. Precinct 4, Mr. Tim Frazier, is he here today?
He's not here.
He's on the road as well. All right. From the Tax Assessor Collector's Office, Ms. Shirley Holas. There she is, always smiling. Congratulations. Thank you. And I assume he's not here either, but Ronnie Opiella? 25 years of service, and he's on Precinct 1. I mean, slave driving over there. All right. Last one is Mr. Larry Lavaca, Constable Precinct 3. Huh? Y'all get in there. All right, last but not least, this is 30 years of service, and this is going to be presented by the entire Commissioners Court. 30 years of service, Mr. Sheriff Micah Harmon. One more. Our very own tax assessor collector, 30 years of service, Ms. Deborah Sepship. Get a picture by themselves first. 30 years. That's incredible. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. We're still in discussion, so we're still in discussion.
Your Honor, Commissioners Court,
Make sure you're.
Your Honor, Commissioners Court, I'd just like to say how momentous it is to have those service awards. It seems like a small thing, but it's not. In a day and age where most things are heated up, used, and thrown away, and the only person that likes change is a wet baby. And yet you folks have seen fit to stay here and make a career out of service, and it speaks volumes. So we cannot underestimate or overestimate the commitment that you have to your work, and we are grateful for you continuing to set a standard that's so high. We appreciate what you do, and so this day marks that, and I'm just grateful for all of you, so thank you.
Thank you, Wayne, for that statement. So we had a motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1, to accept those service awards as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And thanks to you all, and we look forward to your next 35 and 40-year anniversaries. All right, agenda item number 2, discuss and approve May 13th, 2023 weather event and road and bridge damages. And I will say we'll probably extend that May 13th. We had some other weather-related events after the fact. I put this on the agenda just because I think it's important for the public to know what y'all deal with when it comes to a heavy downpour rain event. And so we'll start this, the agenda item has been read. Do we have a motion and a second?
Yes, I make a motion.
A second.
All right, motion made by Precinct 1, second by Precinct 2 to discuss and or approve May 13th, 2023 weather event and road and bridge damages. Any discussion? And we'll start with whoever wants to go first.
Precinct 1, every gravel road we have has damages done to it. There are ruts, there's trenches, there's damage to every gravel road in Precinct 1. We have been, I guess you call it, putting a Band-Aid on them, trying to make them a little more smooth. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and most people appreciate it, and we thank them for their patience. And hopefully, before long, we'll get them all back up to par standard. And we have about 4 culverts. Of course, we'll talk about that in a second. We have 4 culvert projects, but every time it rains, when you get a downpour, in 3 hours you get 5 inches of rain, something's going to flood. And most people know that, and most people are aware of the low spots, so.
And I think one of the discussions, we're worried about the people moving to town, moving to Lavaca County that aren't aware. And I'll use this, Saturday, the 13th was a perfect example. The rain stopped by mid-morning, And we had water over bridges at 10 p.m. that same night still.
Yeah.
And so it was a beautiful day, 70 degrees, people driving around. If they didn't know it rained that morning, and it can rain in another precinct and it washes down to precinct 1. Everything has to come through precinct 1 for the most part, all the water. So we send you our good water down your way. But
We got precinct 4 too.
precinct, yeah.
I want to thank 1 and 4 for taking all our water.
I want to thank precinct 2. He's right north of me. He just pushes it on down.
Yes, sir. Hey,
Mr. Prescott, do you have an estimate of damages from just on the last
I do
14
not.
days of rain?
I
Okay.
do not.
All right. And I know y'all had one section on County Road 15 had to be completely replaced. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, that was the same with me on County Road 302. I'm looking at probably about between $25,000 and $30,000 worth of damage on one culvert pipe.
On one culvert pipe.
Yeah.
You're probably correct with that. Mine's about the same. I'm
Right.
putting 2 pipes in. They are 50 foot long and 5 foot wide, 5 foot diameter.
5 foot diameter.
And we will have to put 2 pallets of concrete on the bottom of it. And by the time you add some bull rock and add some fill dirt, it's costly.
It adds up.
It's costly.
You know,
What I'm experiencing.
you want to speak up? Make sure you get your microphone pulled to you.
What I'm experiencing in precinct 3 is all the low water crossings are 50 to 60 years old, and they're just undermined already and collapsing, so that's kind of what we're gonna hit on here on the next agenda item.
Precinct 2?
Yes, sir. We experienced road damage to almost every road. Fortunately, being in the north part of the county, there's some terrain that slopes to the south, so water runs downhill. That's good news. We're glad to have the water, but we're not glad to have the damage that it does. And so I reached out to TxDOT and asked them to take a look at a double culvert that we installed that's washed out twice, and we have not had time. Thank goodness we get the rain. I'm not complaining about that. What I am complaining about is we do not have time to make the repairs that we need to make. So I had TxDOT take a look at it, because I thought, well, I need some perspective here on what it costs to make a repair like this. And their idea was, let's put in a 5 foot tall, 8 foot wide box culvert. And then they sent me the name of their contractor. And so I reached out to the contractor, and he said, yes, let me take a look at it. He called me back last week. He said, we can do that. He said, it'll be $151,000 to replace the culvert. I'm like, we're not TxDOT. We can't make that kind of repair. So if that's any indication of some of the damage that's done, that's not the only culvert we've had to wash out. And it needs to be done. I'm amazed at the flow of the water. It all comes into one little place. If we walk out there today, that ditch isn't 12 inches wide. But during the rain, it was 40 foot wide, and it just overwhelms. And so we're not in the drainage business, unfortunately. We need some help, and we have damage that will take us the rest of the year at least to repair. So I'm going to say we're probably between $300,000 and $500,000 in damage to the roads for us to get it back where it needs to be.
Basically, what everybody's talking about.
Make sure his microphone's.
Same problem, and again, too, precinct 2, get on the ditches as far as it's not deep enough. And the main thing is our right of ways in the county as a whole. We don't have 60 foot, 70 foot right of ways. We're lucky we may have 30 to 40 feet, and you can't have ditches to get the runoff. And the potential, when we get events like this, it's going to happen. We just got to go back and put it back together. And at this point, that's what we're doing. We're taking care of the culverts, taking care of the roads, we're working on pavement, and we just got to tie it all together and go forward and make it happen. It takes lots of dollars, that's all there is to it. And it's going to slow us up on projects that we have planned for the rest of the year. There's going to be projects we're not going to be able to complete, and we just have to go forward and get them done when we can.
Anything else, precinct 3?
He covered it.
Okay. I mean, I'm just guessing here, looking at, I mean, and I think this is one thing the court maybe has not addressed in years past, but this was a significant rainfall event. I would compare it to a tropical storm when it dumped us all at one time, and that much water coming through our waterways was just more than it could handle. But it could be $1 million of damages. And I think in years past, y'all just start fixing roads, and we don't talk about the outlay of cash it takes on an ongoing basis to repair these roadways. But I wanted to bring it up because we were out and about that day. We had our own issues from the emergency management perspective, whereas NOAA did not predict the crest of the Lavaca River until it crested. I mean, it was about 30 minutes before it crested when they finally got us a prediction. And we were watching 16-foot rise on the Lavaca within 4 hours, and they hadn't made a prediction. So we were like, what's going on here? They made predictions on the two Navidad crossings, TxDOT Navidad crossings, but they didn't make one in Hallettsville. And so we were we were watching it very closely, to best we can say, and it crested, I think, a little below 22 foot that afternoon. But it took a long time for the water to move out of here, and that's something that we hadn't seen that in a long time. So County Road 198 had water over the road at 10 a.m., and I think it was 10 p.m. before you could cross that road, and I don't know if you could cross it at 10 p.m. That was the last time we checked it. You could not cross at 10 p.m. that same day.
I have another thing I was gonna say, I'm gonna start putting out flood gauges if they'll manage to stay there, because that's a hot item for dorm rooms.
Well, that said, we need to maximize our punishment on stealing road signs, because it's getting ridiculous. There was road signs missing on some of our low water crossings that are normally there, and it's kind of getting ridiculous. So the court system can, if we can catch them, maybe it's going to take some game cameras. But I just want to point out, thank y'all for what you do. Thank you to your road hands. I know they were out there that weekend working and marking signs, and our sheriff's deputies as well. They were out with us, and nobody drowned in Lavaca County. I think there was a drowning in DeWitt County, but no one drowned in Lavaca. Praise the Lord. All right, any other discussion?
Is there any, do we have any recourse, or is there resources or assets that we can reach out to and find out if there is some opportunity for us to get some help with some of these items?
I don't know of any at this time, but I do know that TDM is wanting us to document our damages so we can go ahead and see what is this weather-related event, how does it affect us? And I don't think we've ever properly documented that. So I would encourage y'all, it's only been a week out, to help us document that in real-time monetary damages to repair these roads and put your gravel back down, get it out of the ditches and wherever else it is. But I think we'd like to have a kind of a summation of this event, if we can, and then we'll go from there. But
I think we need to, and I think we even need to calculate the resources that we're going to expend in terms of personnel, in terms of equipment that it will take to fill that back, because this will be an impediment for us. It's going to be a setback, because our focus is going to have to be on making repairs to all the roads, and virtually none of them are unscathed. They've all been okay. So if we could calculate what it takes to put back the material, per mile of road, that would be helpful. I don't have the experience to do that, but among the four of us, we could probably get something like that put together.
okay. Any other discussion? If not, we had a motion made by Precinct 1, second by Precinct 2 to discuss and or approve the May 13, 2023 weather event and road and bridge damages. We didn't have any decisions to really make, but all those in favor of the discussion say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, item number 3, discuss and award concrete and labor bids for low water crossings and culvert repairs. And again, I want to say this bid went out before the last rain event, so I don't know if y'all have any changes or things y'all need to do. But all right, do we have a motion or a second to discuss and award?
I'll make a motion to discuss and or award concrete labor bids for low water crossings and culvert repairs.
Okay, motion made by Precinct 3. Second by Precinct 2. Okay. Any discussion?
Yes. County Road 123 for precinct
Okay. And you're gonna bring it back at some other time?
Yes, I did talk with USDA over here, Mr. Chris Yannick, and he's gonna get some folks, and we're gonna go out there and look, and they're gonna make a recommendation. He also told me that the recommendations they make are pricey. So,
Anytime you're dealing with a bridge, and that's what you get. Any other discussion?
I'll just say that I think the numbers speak for themselves, and it looks like that JRC is our most effective and efficient way to proceed, and so I recommend that's what we do.
Okay, so you're recommending going with JRC?
Yes.
Any other discussion?
yes. We have two bids. Can we separate those two? Because there's a bid there that has a $5,000 difference. And if we go with one person,
A 500, there's a $400 difference on one of them.
well, if you look at County Road 165 for precinct 1, you have a bid of $14,500 from one and $9,200 from the other. So if we go with JRC, I'm on a $5,000 right there,
They bid them by the project, correct?
sir.
They bid them each, I think we can pick and choose which ones good, yeah.
Each project, I think we can hit on. Pick the road versus the contract.
Pick the contractor that, yes.
So we could go through and award,
Does that make,
I think we could, maybe we could go this and make it separate. Is it gonna be simpler to say, let's award, or you could separate Yansky Sand and Gravels out, and then JRC has, a default would have the rest, if that's the case. But go ahead.
Judge, I
Or
think
bu-
it'd be helpful too, to have a few more details here about what they're actually going to do, because we probably want to see a sketch
yes, sir.
of what they have in mind and how they're going to make the repair, because what they do is going to certainly impact the cost of the project. So if one of them is using 2 yards of concrete and the other is using 12 yards of concrete, there's going to be a difference. And so the thing that I saw in that is that, you know, these guys are taking in their own details, but we're going to need to see that before we decide that that's a project we want to activate. So
If you kind of want to see what they entail on their labor, the JRC right here's their spec sheet, how they're gonna layer, and then the other one, the rental concrete is right here. One of them's gonna put 16 on center, reborn, the other one's gonna put 12.
What's up to you? It's your crossings. I mean, we can make a motion to accept one or not the other on each by project, or if you want to have more time, you can table it, or you can,
I really don't have really time.
that's my fear.
Bid on each project with the test bid.
Well, let's go by line.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so we've scratched out 123 and 160, what was it, 16A?
Yes, sir.
Okay, County Road 192, who gets the award?
JRC.
JRC is lower bid, gets the award, okay.
11,750.
11,007, okay. County Road 165,
Yansky Sand and Gravel.
Yansky Sand and Gravel.
1719. 1719, yes.
1719,
That's the same number.
okay. Gotcha, okay. County Road 250,
there's two schools of thought on how that should be repaired. It's a low water crossing, and they're talking about raising the elevation and inserting additional pipes, and so
You
I
want-
would need to see a sketch.
you wanna
from
table
these
that?
Guys to make it see, I would table that, yes.
okay. So we're gonna cross out County Road 250 has been tabled per precinct 2. Okay, County Road 265
Yes, I would move to, accept the bid from 1718
for $9,650. Okay. Precinct 255 has no bids, no bids. Okay, so those are tabled anyway by default. Okay, County Road 2, my glasses are getting 266. I could use a reading light up here. 266
Yes, I would move to accept bid 1719.
from Yansky's. Okay, Yansky gets that bid at 5,200. Okay, moving to Precinct 3, County Road 302.
302, on the first part of it, it's, would be JRC 7,100 to 7,500.
Okay,
And there was no bid
Er-
on Yankee on the second
are
one.
we going with, low bid on County Road 302?
Yes.
Okay, so JRC Concrete gets the 302 project?
Yes, and the second one is $9,900 and no bid on the other one, so that would go to JRC.
Okay. So County Road crossing number, what are you calling it, 302, second location is 9,900? Okay.
Okay.
County Road 320?
County Road 320 or JRC 9850.
Okay. County Road 349,
JRC.
JRC, for $9,450. County Road 350A,
3,800
JRC.
JRC.
Okay, County Road 377,
JRC.
JRC.
It actually is 15,000, it's not showing 1,500.
okay, let's make the correction to 15,000 on County Road 377,
Yes,
okay? Okay, County Road 298,
7,400 JRC.
JRC. Precinct 4, County Road 1,
JRC 8,500.
8,500, okay. All right, does that conclude the bids? Okay, so we have made our selection. We had a, motion was made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 2. We went through our selection list as read. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of accepting those bids as provided, say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The clerks, any clarification on that? You've got that? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Item number 4, discuss and approve any county buildings and needed repairs. Do I see anyone? Doug Kupchak, do you have anything you want to say? Okay. First of all, do we have let's move in, a motion made to move into discussion and approve county buildings and need repairs?
Your Honor, I make a motion to discuss and or approve any county buildings that need repairs.
Okay, motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 2 to move into this item discussion. All right. Precinct 4, I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Kubitschek.
Okay, good. Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, let me give you a little update on what we're calling just the Maintenance Committee. Merle, former Judge-elect, myself, and Greg over there, and appreciate all they're doing. Yeah, the doors, which is one of our main concerns, we've got 2 companies that are in the process of putting in bids and with plans, how we can fix them. One of the things that we've all kind of agreed on, again, talking with the judge and some of the commissioners, we're looking at swipe locks or swipe cards to get in and out of the building. The keys, the key locks that we have currently they're really, the use that they are getting is really taking a toll on the whole door mechanism. So we're looking at all those choices and looking at possibly leaving the doors to some extent and having one main entrance, but I will address that as we get closer. We've had some issues, again, because of the rain, drainage in the building through the basement, the walls, and we're going to have to look at that and to see if it's, how come it's not draining. Again, it's the old question of it rains in the building, but where does it go when it goes out? And we're having trouble with that. The drain pipes, they're not showing any water coming out, so it's backing up. not helping it, it's holding it back. Merle's working on that. He's got the plans, and we're looking at why the drain fields aren't working out of the building. Also, the security in the building, dealing with various things that go on in terms of district court, that kind of stuff is still a major concern. We're looking at the basement door, how we can fix that in the sense of entry, the main entrance on district court days for the protection of not only the district judge, but all our employees that are in the building and on a daily basis. But that's again we're into that. Let me see, okay, and another thing we've looked at, and we're going to have to probably sit down with all of you at another date, is the ventilation ducts in the courthouse. There's some issues there that we're really concerned about, health issues. So that's something else. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg, but what we've done since the last couple of court sessions that y'all have had. So, any questions?
First of all, thank you again for the committee working on this for us. I know we've identified at least 4 areas in the basement where water is coming in to the building during heavy downpours. So the water's not draining away from the building like it should properly, or it's just seeping in.
Right.
It's a basement along the Lavaca River. I wish I could go back in time and tell them, hey,
Yeah.
maybe that's not the best idea. But,
Well, that's part of the problem. The building's in a hole.
right.
What used to be the riverbed.
And
So-
something Lori Winsky, the district clerk, pointed out on Friday, if you didn't get to hear this, but
Yes,
there's mold.
I did. I saw it.
Okay, you saw it.
You want to go?
I'll look at it sometime today, but it was in the
Okay.
district courtroom?
Yes.
Mold growing?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to,
It's-
that's kind of an emergency issue there.
That's what I said, the ventilation ducts.
Okay, all
So,
right.
okay.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, other buildings, I think Becky Yannick here? You're going to table your project, is that correct? Okay, so the project out at the, what do you call the building? Community Connections Building, that project is going to be tabled for now, so we don't have to go out there, but we're going to make a site visit at one time as a court. We'll announce that later. Annex project, I know I've got a report that the probation department moved their records from the archives, so that's been done. And I don't know if Sheriff is still here, he's still here. If we can get with some trustees and a commissioner to work together to coordinate moving the rest of those materials out of this old subway building. I'm looking at precinct 3, I don't know.
Why are you looking at me?
Because no one else looked at me, but if we could get a commissioner to volunteer a truck and trailer at some point to help those trustees, we would appreciate it. Any volunteers? Let me know when, he says. Man. All right. So precinct 1's going to work with the sheriff on that? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll help out with those signs, scrap them.
Okay. Yeah, there's some old scrap stuff that's not sellable, just be scrap iron, I guess. Okay. So we had a motion by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to discuss and approve any county buildings that need repairs. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of that discussion as provided, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Item number 5, discuss and approve the contract between Co-File and Lavaca County Clerk for the imaging of oil and gas lease records and the scanning of plat records. That is in your packet. Do I hear a motion?
There was a project done back when this was in office, and mine looks, they got skipped, so I'm just trying to finish that project up. And then there's also like 17 plant cabinet plats that I need to have scanned, we don't have the plats in there, so I'll just scan those. And if anybody comes in with some copies, a lot of them.
Make a motion to approve the contract between Co-op and Lavaca County Clerk for the imaging of oil and gas lease records and scanning of plat records.
Second.
Motion is made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the contract between Co-File and Lavaca County Clerk for the imaging of oil and gas lease records and the scanning of plat records. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 6, declare items on Exhibit A as surplus property.
Okay, I have a 2013 Ford Excel F-150, VIN number 1 Francis Tim Mark Francis Ken 1 Charlie Mark, 5 David Kenny Frank, 43133 bid number. And a 1998 Vermeer 123 chipper that all 4 was on. 1 Victor Robert Kenny, 15156 Thomas, 1000855. And then I have a 2016 Eager Beaver Pintle Hitch Haul Trailer that was damaged from heavy equipment that'll probably go for scrap. Bid number 112 Harry 8 Victor 3 7 Xavier George Lopez 080503.
So that was Kenny's motion.
That's my motion.
Motion was made by precinct 3, seconded by precinct 4 to surplus those items as read. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Wrong line. Okay. Item number 7, declare 2014 Chevrolet Tahoe, bin number 1 GNLC T2E05ER179266, tag number 005236 as surplus property from the Sheriff's Department.
Make a motion to declare 2014 Chevrolet Tahoe, bin number 1 GNLC2 E05ER179266, tag number 005236 as surplus property.
Second.
Motion is made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to declare the sheriff's item as surplus property. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right. Item number 8, discuss and approve the resolution of Board of Directors for People's State Bank approving and accepting the depository contract with Lavaca County. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of Board of Directors of People's State Bank approving and accepting the depository contract with the Lavaca County.
Second.
Motion was made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the resolution of Board of Directors for People's State Bank approving and accepting the depository contract with Lavaca County. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 9, discuss and approve the collateral agreement between Lavaca County and People's State Bank and TIB NA.
Make a motion to approve the collateral agreement between Lavaca County, Public Entity, People's State Bank, Depository Bank, and TIB NA.
Motion is made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the collateral agreement between Lavaca County and People's State Bank. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 10, discuss and approve per LGC 111.0108, the certification of unbudgeted revenue, and that came out of precinct 3. TAC insurance proceeds for motor grader 303-4000-8700. And that was for the amount of $28,108. And also the EMS-GCRAC tuition DM-121-4000-8708 for the amount of $4,028.
And I will say that 28,000 was insurance claim because the maintainer got struck by lightning. I make a motion to approve for LGC 111.0108 certification of unbudgeted revenue.
Second.
Motion was made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the certification of unbudgeted revenue. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, number 11, discuss and approve the KJZT Family Life Society Number 2, Hattlesfield, Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Society Number 3, St. Mary's, the Visitation, and Society Number 44, Moravia, the Annunciation, proclamation declaring June 14, 2023 as National Flag Day. Do we have a motion?
Yes, I believe St. Mary's Visitation Society number 44, Moravian Annunciation Proclamation declaring June 14th, 2023 as National Flag Day.
Okay, motion is made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1. I will read that proclamation at this time. The proclamation will read, whereas KJZT Family Life Societies have long proclaimed their patriotism by celebrating and honoring National Flag Day, June 14th, and whereas KJZT Family Life Societies perform many religious, charitable, cultural, and patriotic activities throughout Texas, and whereas the volunteers of these adult and junior societies provide great service to our state and nation through civic and patriotic projects, and whereas KJZT Family Life calls upon their societies to tell of the ideals and objectives of KJZT Family Life and to unite in observation of National Flag Day. Now therefore, I, Keith Mudd, County Judge of Lavaca County, do hereby proclaim June 14, 2023 as National Flag Day and call upon citizens to lend their support and show their appreciation for the contributions made to their local communities in the state of Texas by members of the KJZT Family Life. At a motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor of this proclamation say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And thank you, KJZT, for this proclamation. I think they're going to come back to the courthouse for a picture later this week. Okay, item number 12, declare the week of May 21st through 27, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week.
Make a motion to declare the week of May 21st, 27, 2023 as Emergency Medical Service Week. Second.
Motion made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3. Michael Furr, do you want to have the honor of reading that proclamation? Or do you want me to read it for you? Okay. I got to clear my throat. All right, the proclamation will read, whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in the need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine, and whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and others out of the hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continued education to enhance their life-saving skills, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value of the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now therefore, I, Keith, Lavaca County Judge of Lavaca County, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through 27, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week. With the EMS strong theme, EMS Week, where emergency care begins, I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. So we had a motion made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3 to approve that proclamation. Any other discussion?
Thank y'all for the work y'all do.
Yep.
All y'all do, and the rest of y'all, through the county and the state, y'all do a wonderful job. We'll give y'all the show.
And what significant progress y'all have done in less than 3 years. We're coming up on a 3-year anniversary, I believe, of naming a new director to that facilities and to that program, and what a difference y'all have made in less than 3 years. So, thank you. Thank you to all. All right, so motion was made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, with that, we'll have our EMS update by, you want to take a picture? Yeah, sure. Let's do that. If all EMS people will come forward. I guess we'll have this in the background. That'll work. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you for what you did. Are you going to announce the activities this week, Mr. Burke? You're going to announce the activities you're going to have this week? Okay. All right, are we centered? Good? All right, we gotta go. Almost like that was staged. We'll give them a little time to get out.
Go get your email address or something so you can identify everybody.
Sure, yes, sir, you can.
And before you leave.
Yeah, no problem. All right, agenda item number 13, our EMS update from our world-famous EMS director, Michael Furr.
Okay, thank y'all for having us, and thank y'all for that proclamation. We had, at any given time, we have 7 people on regular shift a day. They all work 48 hours on, 96 hours off, 3 ambulances and 1 supervisor. So they, and that's 24/7, 365. So we do non-emergency, emergency, 911 calls. So these guys do it all. So we appreciate what they do for us. So for the month of April, we had a total of 154 calls for service. Out of that 154, we transported 120. We hit our shoot times, which is less than 90 seconds, 97% of the time. We transported, we had 113 911 calls, and we also had 34 transfers. Medic 3 put 1,602 miles last month. That was loaded miles, and that's the ambulance from Shiner. And then next in line would have been Medic 1 here in Hallettsville with 1,255, and then Moulton with 1,226 miles. Hallettsville had 72 calls for service, Shiner 58, and Moulton 20. And let's see, we transported the most amount, we transported patients to Lavaca Medical Center 37 times last month, Yoakum Community Hospital 17, Gonzales Memorial 4, Citizen 16, DTAR 27. So, a couple other things real quick I want to go over. So it is EMS week this week, and we are going to have an open house this year for EMS week. We're going to have three evenings of open house. One will be here in Hallettsville, which is tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So anybody on Facebook, that's our YouTube that's watching this now, or any elected, appointed officials who'd like to come by and see, and definitely the general public, see what it is that we do, where the funding goes into our equipment, into our personnel, into our stations. We will have hot dogs, chips, drinks, and most of that has been donated by local businesses throughout the county, so we sure do appreciate that. It gives it gives an opportunity just for people to come in. You'll be able to see where everybody stays. You'll be able to see the stations, the day rooms, bedrooms, and just see what it is we do for 48 hours of our life at a time. Let's see. Abby just left. So Abby Pilati was in the picture a little while ago. Congratulations to her. She just passed her paramedic. She is a certified paramedic for Lavaca County now. She's been working on that for a little over 2 years. She's been with us for around 2 years, so it's been a pleasure to have her here. She's a good worker and dedicated, and that's a milestone in any EMS's career, any EMT's career to get to that, and she did it at a very young age. This is our 50th year, which later on this year we're gonna plan something. This is our 50th year in existence as a department. In 1973, we were formed as Lavaca County Sheriff's Rescue, right, I believe? It was under the Sheriff's Office. Judge Woodick's father, when he was the sheriff at the time, formed this. And since then, we've progressed, we've grown from rescue service to full-time ambulance service, Lavaca County EMS, and so that's a huge milestone of reaching 50 years. A lot of the departments around our area were established around that time. So some of them did their 50th a year or two ago. Some of them, they have theirs coming up. But this year is our year, so it's very special to be a part of that. Collections. So collections we've been watching that pretty closely because we switched billing companies. from EMSMC, which is a North Carolina-based business, to Emergicon, which is a Texas-based business. And since then, there's a lot of different things that we have to do back and forth in between Medicare, Medicaid, private insurances, and I'm happy to say that our average now has gone up. We're averaging about $107,000 a month in collections now, which is great compared to where we were, which was 85 to 90-ish, somewhere in there. Keep in mind, like I always say, collections go up and go down. You can't really determine exactly how much you're going to get a month, so we like a really good 6-month picture of average of what it is that we're doing to kind of tell you how our system is. And so I'm really happy to hear that we're doing $10,000 to $15,000 more a month just because we've changed our billing practices. And that was just simply, we're writing our reports the same, we're responding to the same calls, it's just the way that our billing company is functioning for us. So I think they're doing a good job. Let's see. And last but not least, you guys had mentioned earlier about Golden Crescent RAC funds that we received as revenue, non-budgeted revenue, I believe. And that was in the case of a little over $4,000. That came from Senate Bill 8. Senate Bill 8 was passed, which basically gave some ARPA funds from the state to the Department of State Health Services. Department of State Health Services and was then tasked to distribute this money to all of the regional advisory councils in the state. We participated in numerous meetings within our region, and we're going to be sending Mr. Minking to paramedic school off of those funds. It's going to be minimal cost out of pocket to us. This covers tuition. The only thing that we're going to pay for would be books and out-of-county fees. So we'll be more than glad to do that if Senate Bill 8's picking up the $4,000 tab. So that's good news, and with that comes an agreement of the employee who's going to stay here for a few years and work for us before they can go anywhere else. And we're blessed to have a good RAC too, good EMS leaders in every county that we participate in. And in these meetings, we all really kind of agreed that if somebody signed a deal with you to stay there for 3 years, that we're not going to take anybody else's person who signed a deal with them. For example, if somebody went to Senate Bill 8, through Senate Bill 8 in Calhoun County, it's our obligation, if they're looking for a new job, not to take that employee if possible, because they signed a deal with Calhoun County. So, any other questions or concerns, comments with EMS? Yes, sir?
You mentioned, did you say 3 open houses?
I'm sorry?
You said 3 open houses?
3 open houses, yes, sir.
Okay, and
So tomorrow will be Hallettsville from 6 to 8. Wednesday will be Shiner from 6 to 8. And then Thursday will be Moulton from 6 to 8. And if the hot dogs get burned, you can blame me, Chief Decker, or the on-duty crew. One of those. Yeah.
Could you tell us, I know, full disclosure to the court, I met with Judge Prowse and Michael Furr in Colorado County. We met, I think, a week ago today. We went to lunch with Judge Prowse just to talk business and of the 2 counties. And can you tell us how is your new role at Colorado County going?
So new role is going good. You know, it's not a secret. I spent a little more time over there in the last probably 5-6 months, where it's now gotten pretty leveled out, which is great. And the train is back on the tracks. Personally, I'm blessed to have 2 good assistant chiefs, one here and one there, and they just take care of business in my absence. But one thing that I didn't account for when I decided to say yes to this is getting 2 different counties' budgets at the same time. So it's been a lot of behind the computer last week and this week, writing things out and figuring things out. And you should be proud. I went to school in Moulton, and I can figure this stuff out. So it's got good education. But no, it's going well. It's an honor to be able to do that because I talk to a lot of other leaders around the state, and this is something that doesn't happen very often at all. Maybe it's something that's talked about, but it's not something that most counties can actually get together in the same room and figure out, which is kind of a testament to that. And I have a lot to talk about at this year's EMS Alliance conference in August, I'm pretty sure, because I told them I was either going to have a really good story or a really bad story, but so far it's been a good story. So.
I'm here to say leadership matters, and your leadership in the Department of EMS matters, and we're glad you're here, and you've done a great job for us. It's sad to have kind of seen what happened to Colorado County after you left. and it takes time to get it back to where it was, and I can attest to that as well. But Judge Prowsey said good things about you, and it's working very well. So keep it up is all I can say. Appreciate it. So, anything else from the court on that?
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. We hope to see some of y'all at our open house this year. So, thank y'all.
All right, thank you. Do I hear a motion to accept the EMS update report? Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to accept the EMS update as provided. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, to have a motion to move into consent agenda. Motion made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3 to move into consent agenda, and we will ask that our microphones go off at this time. All right, we're back. All right, we had a motion made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3 to move into consent agenda. Thank you. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Did you vote, Wayne?
Yes, I said aye.
Is it aye or aye? All right, anything else from the court?